guys. So London's under a bit of a lockdown at the moment, but we are allowed one period of exercise per day. So this is my exercise, and I thought I'd bring you guys along. We'll see where we end up. I've got a rough idea where I'm headed. I'm going to head over towards Alexandra Palace. See what we see over there. Oh, behind the gates. Don't want to hit the camera on a gate. Right, let's go and see what we see. Thank you. So I think last time you guys saw this when I was over here, it was still under construction. Tottenham Hotspur's football ground. It's quite impressive now it's completed. There's not going to be much football played in there at the moment, is there? Everything's closed. It's so big, I can't get any decent pictures of it, to be fair. Let's go down the end here and we'll have a look, see if we can get a better view. So this is the view that I came and showed you last time I was here. But I think there were some big cranes still up there, if I remember rightly. So yeah, as I say, it's closed. But last night, I can see this from the back balcony of my apartment, and last night this was all lit up in blue. All the outside floodlights and the inside lights were shining blue, and it was a celebration or a thanks to all the healthcare staff in the UK who've been helping us out at the moment. And so all the public buildings, all the major buildings, turned all their lights blue, and everybody went outside and clapped and cheered from their balconies. And to be fair, London did really well. The noise was amazing. I think just about everybody in my street was out ringing bells, cheering, clapping. There was even some fireworks. But yeah, impressive. But not half as impressive as it is with the healthcare workers at the moment doing all that they're doing for us. So good on them. Right, where to next? I think we have to cross over this junction here. Oh, there's still a bit of traffic in Tottenham. That's surprising. Not much social distancing going on there, is there? So I'm just about to come up on a junction that I went through before. If you have a look at my videos, it's one where the FNIO was causing me some problems. And we came along this road, and at the end of this road is a pretty awful junction. On that occasion it was so busy I had to sit in traffic. I was sitting behind some cars for quite a while trying to get out to this really busy junction. And I'm only relating that today because I'm just wondering what it's going to be like when I get up there today. We'll see. Now, where is it? Oh yes, just up here. I can barely see any cars at all. That's quite good. Yeah, I remember saying on camera that I'd just come back from Casablanca and I would prefer to ride on the roads of Casablanca than what I would to ride this junction through Wood Green. But today it's looking a lot clearer. And we're straight across. And if those lights just stay green until I get to them, we'll be straight through. See that rainbow on the road? Amazing. A rainbow pedestrian crossing. Don't know what that was about. But there you go anyhow. So that's the same junction when London's all shut down. Oh, I wish it was like that all the time. Right, onwards to Alexandra Palace. Probably going to be quite a few people at Alexandra Palace now, I would think. It's quite central for people to come and do their exercise. Here's a few runners. This is quite some hill. Thanks for the assist there. Still out of breath. Still have to put quite a bit of effort in actually. Just see the palace through the trees. Of course, it's not really a palace. I'll explain it when we get up there. Oh. So that's Alexandra Palace. So apart from the pollution being markedly lower, unfortunately there's still a haze through there. It was remarkably cold last night, so there's a lot of moisture in the air. But I think you can just about make out Canary Wharf through the mist. So Alexandra Palace, or Ali Pali as it's known locally, was built in the 1800s. It was completed in about 1873 or 1875, depending on which story you believe. A couple of weeks after it was completed, it burnt to the ground and then had to be completely rebuilt again. But it was built as a public venue, and it remains that today. It's got despite this wonderful facade at the front, all it's got is warehouses and exhibition centres behind. And that big aerial over there is a reminder that in 1935 the British Broadcasting Corporation started sending out the first television broadcasts from here. Of course, now today they're more commonly known as the BBC. But they sent out a daily broadcast from here. It's the first television, black and white of course it was in those days, but the first television broadcast in the world went from here. Of course I'm going to get picked up on that for not saying the words public. It was the first public television broadcast. So anyhow, that was a quick look at Alexandra Palace. Where to next, I wonder? Yeah, the day's still young yet. Let's find somewhere else. So we're away from Alexandra Palace now, heading through towards Crouch Hill, I believe, and Hornsey, if anybody knows that area. I know it quite well. There's a couple of things that we can have a look at whilst we're over there, so we'll go and have a look. Roads are still quite busy in places. Nothing like what it would normally be, of course, but quite manageable though. So this is Crouch End. It's a very posh little shops and restaurants around here. It's a nice place to come on a sunny day. Thank you. Crouch End Clock Tower. Still quite cold, surprisingly, in this sun. So if anybody's ever done geocaching, I had a little go at it last year. I think it was last year, the year before. It's quite good fun, but there's a geocache on Crouch Hill, sorry, in Crouch End, and it's just behind that sign over there where it says Crouch End, tucked in the hedge. And if there's any geocachers watching, no cheating, you're not allowed to have a look. So that's the end of Crouch End, and now we're into Hornsey, over Hornsey Rise. So at the top end of Hornsey is this bridge that I'm just coming up on, and it's a bridge that goes over the main A1, but probably 50 metres below. And as you can see, on either side they've put up this enormous fence, and it's because, unfortunately, this bridge became known as Suicide Bridge. But you can see the A1 down there, long way down, and yeah, not a very nice thing to think about, but there we go anyhow. So onwards from the Archway Road Bridge, we're going to go down here and carry on to, oh, what's down here? The Whittington Hospital and Archway. So this is now Highgate, and in Highgate is the Whittington Hospital, and it's the Whittington Hospital named after Dick Whittington, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that when we get down the road a bit. It's nice to be going downhill for a little while. So over there is the main entrance to the Whittington Hospital. So just past the Whittington Hospital is this little monument, and you can almost read what's still on that stone. It's anybody who knows the story of Dick Whittington and his cat, well, that's the Whittington stone. And basically it's said that Richard Whittington, who came down from up north in the north of England, he came down here to London to seek his fortune, and he didn't find his fortune, so he decided to go home. But when he got as far as here, on the Archway Hill, it's said that he heard the bells ringing from Bow, the Bow bells, and that he said that they were calling out to him and telling him to come back to London. So he went back into London, and after then he became very prosperous and actually ended up being the Mayor of London on 2 occasions. Quite where the cat comes from, nobody seems to know. It just seems to have been a made-up part after the event, but there we go. So that's Dick Whittington's cat. Where should we go next? Back up the hill, I suppose. There's not much down that way. Let's go and see. So the next thing I wanted to show you is just through here. This is Highgate Cemetery, and unfortunately it's closed. The reason I want to go in there is I'll have to show you at another time, but Karl Marx's tomb is in there, the Karl Marx. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but not to worry, we'll come back and we'll show you that one at some point in the future, I'm sure, if I'm back this way. So I'm in Chester Road in Camden. I just want to stop and show you these beautiful little houses. They're absolutely gorgeous. I have no idea about them, and why they're here, and why they've been built that way, but like little fairy tale cottages. There's several of them in there. How pretty. So if you enjoyed a look at the Tottenham Stadium earlier on in this video, if you enjoyed that, then perhaps you'd better look away for the next couple of minutes. However, if you're an Arsenal fan, then you're probably going to enjoy this immensely. So the Emirates Stadium is home to another one of our top flight football clubs. Soccer to you guys over in North America. Arsenal. There's a great deal of rivalry between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, who we saw earlier, because they're both in North London and they really don't like each other. The fans don't like each other, should I say. Oh, it's a bit windy round this other side here. At least we can get to this stadium and have a closer look at it, eh? Unlike Tottenham's, which is just surrounded by public roads and houses, you can't really get up close to it. I think this one's roughly the same size as the Olympic Stadium that you see me riding round so often, which now of course is West Ham's football ground, another top flight football club, although some would say not as top flight as Arsenal and Tottenham perhaps, but let's not get into that. I'm really not a football person, so my opinions mean nothing to anybody when it comes to football. Quite some stadium though, isn't it? It's enormous, it's so big. Again, I can't get anything like any of it into the frame. They have these statues like this one over here of some of their top players through the years. My apologies for not knowing who this is until I'm right on top of it. Apparently it's Tony Adams. 1983 to 2002 was his career at Arsenal. So there we go. I've learnt something myself today. So, 2 top flight football stadiums, a cemetery that was closed, a palace that in fact never has been a palace. Have we seen anything else? I don't know. Must be getting near lunchtime though, I'm getting hungry. Perhaps we'll start to make our way back towards home. Now you see this sign here, obviously it's written backwards because we're the wrong side of it, but it's Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. So I'm going to ride around the other side of it with my 360 camera and try and see if I can do something clever with these signs as I ride past them. No idea whether it'll work, but let's see. So I don't know whether you noticed back there, but I just passed a Sainsbury's supermarket. It's the first one that I've passed today that I've noticed. There's a queue outside and they're all standing 2 or 3 metres apart, which is excellent. But they're actually standing that distance because the supermarkets have now painted marks on the paths outside and then only allow a few people in the store at once to keep that social distancing going, which is really good. Oh, tight gap, tight gap. Oh, he did it. So we're now in an area called Stamford Hill. And I have to be incredibly careful here because all these parked cars, people just tend to step out, they don't see me coming. Or they'll open the doors on me, which is always nice. Yeah, just have to have your wits about you. Yeah, there's not much social distancing going on here. Top of the hill is just up ahead. Top of the hill, then quick run down to the canal, and then you know where we are. Because I've been there before. Cool, that little red car in front on half smell. I don't know what he's burning. Oh, it stinks. It smells like burning fat. Not nice. Good, he's turning off. There, top of the hill. That's good. Oh, they put a cycle crossing in here now. That's great. Lovely. They didn't have this here before. So, we've got a sensor on the lights up there. It now hopefully knows that I'm here. And we just wait for that to go green and across we go. Yeah, never had this bit here before. Oh, there we go. That was nice and quick as well. It's quite a major road, this one as well, so I was expecting a longer wait than that. Oh, that's handy. I used to have to wait ages there to cross. Just a nice little downhill run down to a little gap that I know in the fence down here that'll take me out onto the canal. Oh, squeaky brakes. And there we are, back on the canal. Well, that was quite a nice ride. I enjoyed that. Having said that, it's not quite over, but it's almost over for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you have, then please, as always, don't forget to tick that thumbs up down below. Really does help my channel when you do that. And if you haven't subscribed already and you think you like this sort of thing, please subscribe. Obviously that also helps my channel out. Oh, a lovely view down the canal there though. So I decided to go around the wetlands today. There's just too many people in there. So we'll take the roadside. I've got about another kilometre to do. Most of that's going to be in traffic. So I think I'll say ta-da now. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care, stay safe and well, everybody. And I'll see you soon. Ta-da.